we've touched on what we call the townies. What we referred to as the townies. Let's go to the 78 crew real quick. So these are characters either we meet for the first time in this movie,
okay,
or have connections to the events
in
the original Halloween movie.
All right.
So first up is Pete McCabe. This is played by he's played by Jim Cummings. This is the character who Hawkins shoots in the beginning of the movie. This is the one who goes in there with Hawkins.
Oh,
and he's being choked out.
Yeah.
This Jim Cummings, by the way, is in a movie called The Wolf of Snow Hollow that came out last year that I really loved. So check that out. But he is also, that first scene is kind of our window into those 78 flashbacks and how they go about doing it. So there's this weird throughout the entire series too, which is weird. There's this weird like nature versus nurture stuff, and the nurture stuff is more in the zombie movies, weirdly enough.
For sure.
But this one feels more like 78 in that Michael's a force of nature. Like he's evil, and when you have the chance to take down evil, you cannot hesitate.
Or people are going to pay for it.
Or people are going to pay. So that's a little bit. And what did you think of like the first scene, the flashback to 78, the look of it, the feel of it? How did you feel about those flashback scenes?
The flashback stuff was awesome. One of the things I hated about 2018 was the base idea that like Michael just got arrested that night. It's a bummer to me. I'm like, okay, like. Because that ending of 78 works so well, and maybe that's why none of the sequels will work, because it's such a weirdly like satisfying ending, despite the fact that it's completely open ended. It's such a great ending, and such a cinematic ending that like nothing that can be explained as the following events would ever be good enough to live up to that. The moment that body disappears from underneath the terrace, like that's the ending of Halloween. So anything that comes after is always going to be a little bit deflated. So I actually appreciated in this one that we see a little bit more of what exactly happened. I actually kind of dug that.
Right.
It made me feel, if anything, retroactively better about the explanation in 2018 for what took place that night in 78 after the credits rolled on Halloween. I love the look of it. I think it fits, and it feels like, legitimately feels, I feel like sometimes when like filmmakers try to like go back and make movies now that are supposed to feel like of a certain time, or match up with a certain thing, they don't succeed. I think this one actually did pretty well.
I love, I think it's at the end of the first flashback with that shot away,
it felt like
as
a
it
Carpenter.
pulls away. It feels like the beginning of the first movie. Yeah.
Well, and it's echoing back to that, right? It's like the original movie. Obviously, like you open with the young boy on the sidewalk, and his parents are rolling up. This one, you have the cops approaching him on the same sidewalk. I would think Ends is going to end, panning out from there, with perhaps a dead Michael laying on the sidewalk there. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's just my speculation. But anyway, what I don't, the look of it and the feel of it is great. What I don't love about it, the Hawkins shooting his partner stuff is so just stupid and like unnecessary and serves no real purpose in this movie to me. Like maybe I'm missing something.
I don't think you're missing something.
I didn't need any of it.
Yeah.
I thought it just felt like extra crap in there that was unnecessary and kind of makes Hawkins look like a dolt and like not. I liked Hawkins in 2018. I was bummed that he got killed.
Are you good to jump to Hawkins now?
Sure, yeah.
We're done with McCabe. Yeah, let's jump to Hawkins now.
I liked Hawkins in 2018. I like Will Patton a lot. I actually like his chemistry with Jamie Lee Curtis quite a bit. I'm excited to see, hopefully, that move forward and go somewhere in the next film. I enjoyed it in this one.
I'm happy they kept him alive.
Me too.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it.
Right.
I didn't expect it, but he was in none of the marketing and stuff, which is pretty great. But here he is back, right? I was psyched about that. And you're going to hear no complaints from me. My complaints are I like the character, and like the flashback stuff just kind of made me like him not quite as much, because I'm like, this guy sucks. Like, shoots his partner because he's a dumbass, and then he covers it up. Like, I don't know.
That stuff is is kind of convoluted and silly. I'm with you. That I like the 78 flashbacks quite a bit. And the look of it, I like the part with Lonnie quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I am less crazy about that Hawkins take
Hawkins
the shot.
It's stupid. None of that was necessary. And I my only thought is they included it as part of like a showing us that there's always been evil and darkness lurking in the small town of Haddonfield right behind our eyes, and it's like things like the police force covering up this horrible shooting and things like
Yeah.
even small towns have a darkness inside of them kind of thing.
The only other thing too that I think that the movie tries to do later on between him and Lori in the conversation they have later is there's a I keep saying weird, but there's a generational kind of clash where the older generation of Haddonfield kind of comes to grips with the fact like they had a chance to stop this and they had a chance to put an end to it that night. And even Hawkins, he's blaming himself too for Michael, and him and Lori kind of come to grips with the fact like this thing is still out there and a lot of it is because of us,
and that's cool
night. And I think it's cool. I think
that's cool, but he explained that in in 2018 he literally says, I'm the one that stopped Loomis from killing Michael that night. I should have just let him do it.
Right.
That was enough reason for him to feel guilt. He didn't need to kill his partner. It just felt too much to me. It was kind of just like, why are we doing
it? It is. A lot of that stuff is really it's
unnecessary
and it's silly.
Me.
And I'm with you. The other thing I wanted to ask you about though too here is, so I need to know. He has that conversation about seeing Lori in the bar, and how like they kissed that night in the bar, and I think it's kind of a sweet and kind of nice conversation. What is the timeline of this that I cannot match it up?
It's got to be after Halloween.
Because he's talking about she's still sweet on Ben Tramer, right? But she's in the bar. But it was 18 years old. Could you be in a bar at that point? Yeah.
No.
Did they?
So in 78, that was when they changed it from 18 to 21. Oh no, in 79. So they could have been.
That's right.
They could have been.
I remember
my mom was able to drink from 18 to 19, and then the second she turned 19, they were like, can't drink anymore.
So they could have been in the bar in 78.
But Lori wasn't that. She didn't ever.
But if she was sweet on Ben Tramer and Ben Tramer was there,
maybe she went to.
Ben Tramer's Karen's dad, right? This is one thing I got from the novelization is and I didn't necessarily
really
get this. So Lori's been married twice, but neither husband of hers.
I never thought of that.
Has been. They say it in the novelization. So, and I think it's kind of hinted at here too, but they say it in the novelization because I don't know how our age matches up. That Karen's father is neither man she married, Lori. So,
dude.
So I kind of think maybe it was a fling with Ben Tramer that would add up. Because what would Karen be around this time? In her late 30s, probably, right? Because Allison would be a teenager.
Yeah, maybe early 40s. Even.
Yes. So I think the timeline.
I never thought of that.
I think it's heavily, and that's why I wanted to bring that conversation up. Is I think it heavily hints at.
Is Ben Tramer going to show up in the next one as like a character?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So there we go. You got anything else to say about?
No,
Will Patton is great, by the way. He's always awesome.
He rules.
This podcast loves.
You're killing me. You're killing me. You remember that? Yeah. One of the great Will Patton performances. I love Will Patton.
Yes, I do. Yeah. I sat by Joe during the movie, and Joe's a big Remember the Titans fan.
Oh, he's great.
And he just kept quoting Will Patton from Remember the Titans the entire movie.
God, I love you, Joe.
Real quick here, because I don't have a ton here on Sheriff Brackett. Once again, played by the wonderful Charles Cyphers. He doesn't have a ton to do here. He gets to say crazy stuff like "Evil dies tonight."
Yeah, I don't know why.
He's a callback to his One Good Scare line.
It's so bad, though. I'm sorry, it is.
It's nice to see him again.
It is. If I'm being completely honest, I almost wish he wasn't in this. It just feels weird to me, and just kind of like, I mean, other than like hey, look, it's Charles Cyphers is back. I guess it's nice to see him, but like, I don't know.
I think there's a moment in the hospital when the mob's getting riled up where when he says evil dies tonight, it kind of feels like an authority figure, like giving permission to the rest of these people to just
sure
join in.
Yeah.
But I love Charles Cyphers.
I do too. I really do. I wish he had something to do. I guess there's just like, it just feels weird that like Brackett's in this and does like accomplishes, like there's just nothing.
Because the Brackett story with Annie and stuff is so tragic, and a lot of the like I've been reading that not rejected, but unproduced Halloween scripts, and a lot of focus on. But I think maybe my preferred Brackett story is in the zombie movies, though, just because.
Dorff is incredible.
Dorff brings it in part 2.
He's really good.
He's the best part of part 2.
Yeah,
so,
he's really great. No, I mean Charles Cyphers. I always like seeing him, but Brackett was just weird in this one. I couldn't wrap my head around him and another character that we'll talk about, where I was like, I don't know, like, why are they in this? It just feels
interesting. Let's get to the meat of the 78 crew.
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
Tommy Doyle, played by Anthony Michael Hall, not Paul Rudd. I know Steve wanted us to last week talk about casting decisions or like fantasy cast. What do you think?
I would
Paul
have
Rudd?
laughed too hard.
I could, yeah.
At Paul Rudd as this Tommy Doyle.
I could.
Like the whole thing would play as a comedy to me.
There's a ruggedness to the current Anthony Michael Hall that Paul Rudd just can't. Like Anthony Michael Hall feels like what kind of a towny version of Tommy Doyle would be, who like spends his time at the bars and working during the day and hitting the bars at night. He looks like that kind
who's
of guy.
been through some shit. And, who's lived a life. Yeah. No, I like Tommy in
so
this.
Tommy is basically he's he's the mob leader. He's kind of a cult leader. He's
a fucking nerd.
He's a presidential candidate.
He's a nerd though. He thinks he really truly believes that what he's doing is the smart play, and that he truly believes in what he's doing right up until the end. Which almost makes him sadder and scarier as a character, because he really thinks that he's got this thing handled. He's the one who's going to do it. He's going to be the hero. He's the superhero he read the comic books about when he was a kid. Like, it's his destiny to, he lived through this, and it's his destiny to put an end to it. And he's wrong. And he leads a lot of people to their deaths because he is wrong, and he's misguided, and he's not.
And there's even a moment later.
He's not as smart as he thinks he is.
Where he even tries, like, even after he's proven wrong, he tries to convince himself that maybe he's still right.
Yeah.
And he's not. Yeah.
No, he gets his head smashed in with a baseball bat with old Huckleberry.
Yes.
No, he's an idiot. And it's kind of but a sympathetic idiot.
I was going to
too.
say the movie.
It's not mean to Tommy, and I don't think it needs to be. Like,
Tommy's just
he's not a bad guy.
He's a scared dude.
He's scared, and and rightfully so. And he thinks what he is doing is right, and it's not right. And no one instead of calling him on it, people buy into his bullshit.
Because they're all scared as well. Because we are dealing that hospital, the first hospital scene. We're going to talk about another hospital scene a little bit later. But the first one, like when everybody's filing in after Michael's Michael's reign of terror at night, and everybody's kind of like filing in. It's like a natural disaster has occurred in Haddonfield, and everybody's found. So everybody in that hospital is scared. Everybody in town is
terrified.
Scared. They're terrified because this maniac is on the loose. And I don't want to say I don't necessarily think he takes advantage of it because he's scared too, but like he doesn't know how to deal with this other than like let's go kill him, like let's go kill.
He's been living with the same fear that Laurie's been living with for his whole life.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways, and whereas Laurie prepared in confinement and solitary, and she prepared on her own and was very, very removed from society and doing it. Tommy is kind of it seems like internally preparing for it, and is like not even like consciously thinking about it all the time, but there's always been that bit of him that's like, I'm going to compare it to something, and I hope this doesn't come off as distasteful. I really hope it doesn't. Anytime somebody talks about an attack of any sort, whether it's any sort of shooting or you always hear somebody inevitably go, boy, if I had been there, I would have put a stop to that.
No, I know exactly where I said it, because it's like like on 9/11, I heard that a lot. Is like if I was on that plane, and
I would have
taken them
out.
I would have taken care of business. Yeah.
You hear that, and I appreciate the gusto and the sentiment of like you think you were going to save the day. It's great in theory, but most of the time, people that do that tend to make situations even worse a lot of the time. I'm not saying it's always the case. I'm saying people with that mentality, who carry that mentality with them throughout their lives, oftentimes jump in headfirst into things they shouldn't be jumping headfirst into, and wind up getting other people.
Yeah, like Tommy Doyle is not like some sort of like trained Marine here.
No,
he's like a dude.
He's a guy who hangs out at the bar and works a day job, I assume.
He's probably gotten a couple bar fights in his life.
And that's... Yeah, and he has no business being in charge of this situation.
Yep.
And here he is. So you feel there is a sympathy to Tommy though, because he's getting over his head and he's scared. Mm-hmm. And there is a sympathy there, and I can see a regular guy getting in too deep, and then you can't pull back out, and in this case it cost him his brains, I guess.
And he's afraid. Like I'm sure some of the whole town is. I mean, they're afraid of their own extinction. Like they're afraid, like this, our whole way of life is going to die here because of what is happening.
They're more afraid of that. Like they're afraid of the concept of that, and that fear leads them to destroy their town in a completely different way. Because Michael wins, right? And Lori mentions that, like, this is his final. This is the piece de resistance. He's destroyed the town. They're all crazy people.
One other thing I wanted to talk to you about and just mention in general is this has been a very divisive movie, and I'm glad because we haven't gotten a good divisive horror movie in a while.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get the horror community riled up.
But some people just don't like the movie, and I don't. Whatever,
that's fine. I get it.
I get it too.
I don't love it. I think it's a lot of fun, but
but I do think there is a bit of someone I saw. I think it was Vern, Outlaw Vern, compared this to The Force Awakens, and I didn't read his review, so I don't know if he expanded on it. But one of the things I thought with the reaction was is we see so many, like 78 has become so iconic in so many ways with these characters, and it's become this classic movie that's larger than life. Sure. Much like the first Star Wars. And with, not Force Awakens. Did I call it Force Awakens? Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. Yeah.
Last Jedi is the one. I'm sorry. Yep. Force Awakens had a different
I think
reaction.
what you meant. Yeah.
The Last Jedi. And one of the things that The Last Jedi does is it kind of, in some ways, takes those characters from that original Star Wars, especially Luke, and kind of presents him in a different light than where we left him, and then I think where a lot of Star Wars fans wanted to see him. This movie, too, takes those characters that I think horror fans have kind of grown to place up on a pedestal and make them a little bit more human in a lot of ways, and very flawed. And I think some of the negative reaction and I don't even want to say that, but I can see similarities, but with what the reaction was to The Last Jedi in that way, and this movie here, because
I get that.
And the other thing too is you go on. I know a lot of people from when I was kids too, and I see them like on Facebook now, and I was cool with them back in the day, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of a bummer now.
Yeah, sure.
I know my Tommy Doyle's the world.
I've seen some of that internet reaction of like, you're taking these sacred characters and just killing them off and wasting them, and I'm like, are they sacred though? Like,
Tommy was a kid,
he's a little kid that happens to be babysat by I get it, okay, but a lot of what people are taking as this sacred thing is the fact that Tommy pops back up in Halloween 6. He's been a character in a lot of the Halloween comic books, so much like Luke Skywalker was in a lot of the expanded universe stuff and was built up. Here's the potential that they could do with Luke, where he's this. So there's a similarity there in a funny way. I don't disagree with that. My thought is, like anything, this is just another interpretation of that character. If you don't like it, then by all means, watch Curse of Michael Myers, man. Go nuts. I will endorse that.
That's a nice thing, too, now that we've gotten like 40 years of this and Star Wars, if you want. There's plenty of stuff out there for you to consume in this universe that has
You're bound to like something.
And real quick, the suicide is too mean, right? That's the one moment where I thought this movie got to it with the escaped.
That was gross. I didn't inherently have a problem with the scene. With I mean,
I understand.
It feel a little weirdly like.
I understand what they're going for. Like, this is Tommy leading them to the point of no return, but where they make this scared escaped patient jump out of the window.
I get it. I get what they're doing. I don't know that the tone of it fits this movie at all, except for being just mean. And then they do this weird thing where they like linger on the corpse and like show you.
I think
like
that might be it too.
It's too much because like that's not a kill. Like, yes, we're watching the movie and we're gonna laugh and cheer at the crazy kills, even though we're watching like nice characters get killed off and stuff. Part of the slasher celebration is the kills. You know, like it's the oh shit moment when the guy's eyeball pops out, or when Cameron gets smashed in the staircase a billion times. this guy's kind of just like he kills himself, and then you weirdly like linger and like make it look like, oh, look at the gore, man. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, where it feels like the movie's questioning why you're liking what you're watching the whole time. You're like, hey, don't question me right now.
Yeah, don't.
Because the thing is, like with the Johns and Phil and Sandra, like these people have lived a full life. Like they've lived a full happy life. This poor guy who kills it, like he's it's just kind of a bummer to watch him die.
Well, it's the suicide thing too for me.
Yes,
like I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
too bleak.
It's a bit much. For
There
me.
is a line, but
I don't think we need to be lingering on that and making any sort of. I'm not going to condemn this movie for it. I just think it was kind of gross. In my opinion, it felt for a movie that feels like it's having a good time with violence and the genre it's playing in. That felt kind of like, what do we do? What are you doing? Oh, like that should have been. Like I said, I didn't mind the character jumping out of the window or anything like that. I just felt like the way they treated like the aftermath felt like, look at the sick kill. I was like, no. I don't know. It's kind of gross.
You ready to move on to Lonnie?
Let's.
Lonnie Elam, played by Robert Longstreet, who was mentioned in 2018 as the guy who sold peyote to
yes,
instead.
Yeah, that's right.
He's in the 78 flashback. We mentioned it. I like the Lonnie part a lot, and I liked when he runs into the Doyles from Billy Madison.
That was insane, too. How funny was that shit? That was another Illinois Tucky moment.
Oh, and I should give it, because I'm sure Joe is listening, I should give a shout out to the best line of the movie is look at this sassy tackle when he opens up his tackle box.
Yeah.
Which feels like a very Danny McBride line, and I would be shocked if he
100%.
did not write that line of dialogue. What do you think of Lonnie?
Lonnie rules. I
like Lonnie a lot.
Lonnie's sweet in this. He's likable. He feels pretty real. I dig that him and Tommy are buddies now. I like that there was no like
because he's the bully in the first movie.
Yeah,
right?
but I could see like a lot of like temptation to like make it so like these two have to like unite together despite the fact that they've been rivals. All this, it's not the way life works. Like you either move on and forget about each other, or like you wind up becoming friendly. That's kind of the way it is.
In the relationship between the people in Haddonfield, and Lonnie's a good example of that, feels very real to me. Yeah. Like it's like, okay, yeah, you bully me, but you know what? I like that they show Lonnie getting bullied too, to kind of show that cycle of how like kids bully each other.
Some sort of like,
and he bullies the next kid, and then Tommy maybe bullied the next kid.
Right.
Like that's how it goes, and it sucks. But
there's a truth to it.
Yep.
Lonnie rules.
Yep. Oh, and we find out that it was actually Allison's dad who didn't he sell him peyote?
Yeah, it's the reverse. Yeah, and Lonnie is another sad story where it just like it's because this movie is mean, where it's just like, no, you're fucking dead. Like, at least we don't have to see him get killed off screen or on screen, right?
Yeah. Anything else on Lonnie?
No, he's
I liked the stuff with him and his.
The actor's great too.
Camera. Yeah, he's really good. He's a character actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff. I think he was just in Dr. Sleep too. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Lindsey, played by Kyle Richards. So Lindsey's weird. She's the little girl from the first movie. She's back in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsey, the movie, I don't know.
Same actress, which is amazing.
Yeah, and she's like a Real Housewife or something, right? She's on a TV show.
Real Housewife or something. There's a lot of those shows. I don't watch them. If I'm being, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're fun. I don't know. She's become famous for a second thing.
Since then, and a lot of these people they couldn't get back. Because a couple the kid who played Tommy is retired from acting.
Yeah, I don't think he really did much after.
Yeah, so Lindsey, anyway, back to Lindsey. The movie.
By the way, her little sister or her sister, I don't know, it might be younger sister, is the ice cream girl from Assault on Precinct 13.
That's right.
Anyway,
the movie, I don't want to. It kind of forgets about her, but I don't know if it's on purpose or what. Lindsey is important for two reasons in this movie, though. She's our first hint to. We talked about how Michael has his own internal logic, and we don't understand it, but Michael does. Mm-hmm. And she's the first one to kind of, in this movie, remind us, like, Michael really gives a shit about his mask. The mask is very important. She gets away because she messes with his mask.
Yeah, that's right.
And the other thing is, she may be the smartest of all these people because she just hides for the
under
rest
a fucking bridge.
She's just like, all right, and
it works.
I'm away.
Because at the end of the day, he has to see you to kill you.
Yes, I'm gonna wait it out.
And she does.
Yeah.
She's got a weird role in this movie.
Yeah,
I like her.
Yeah, I do
think she's good.
Yeah, like I said, I think the hiding thing works in that way. But yeah,
would assume she'll be involved in the next movie, but then also kind of like, why would she be? I don't know.
If I were her, I'd just like hang out. Like I might move.
Yeah.
Like, move away from.
Why are these people still in Haddonfield? Anyway, no, I like her in the movie and stuff. I guess she just, like you said, she just kind of is gone from the movie after like the first hour. So you're kind of, I don't know. I don't have a ton to say about her. The performance is fine. The chase sequence that she has with Michael Myers works pretty well. It's really the only chase sequence we have in this movie that I can think of. Well, there's an Allison chase sequence too, but no, it works. I think she's good, and I would have liked to have seen more of her, I guess. But if there was any more of her, she probably would have been getting killed. So at least somebody makes it out of this thing.
You know who doesn't make it out? Marion Chambers. Okay.
Here's the other one.
Go. She, the nurse from part 1. She's with Dr. Loomis, of course.
Yeah. Here's the other one where I'm with. I'm gonna get back to the Brackett thing, like. And this goes for everything I'm about to say.
This is the other character.
Everything I'm about to say for Marion goes for Brackett too. Why would this person be around still? Why in God's name would they be lingering around Haddonfield at this point? Like, literally, her only involvement with Michael Myers was that she happened to be the nurse who was driving with Loomis to go pick up Michael Myers the night he escaped. That's it. She has no further link to Michael Myers whatsoever. She happened to be working that night. He grabbed her face and stole the car, and that was it. Okay. Why is she still around?
So the movie does not do this, and I'm going to do the legwork for the movie for you.
Once again, why is Brackett still around? Why is he working security at the hospital? He'd be out of Haddonfield.
So here's why the nurse is still around.
Yeah.
This is me. This is not the movie, because the movie does not do this. I like to think that she heard about what happened in Haddonfield, and from Loomis, she talked to Loomis, and she heard that she's a nurse. She's very caring.
Okay.
She cares about other people. She heard about these kids, Tommy and Lindsey, who survived this traumatic night, and maybe she went to visit them, and maybe she formed a friendship with their parents, and maybe as time grew on and they got older, she formed a friendship with them, and she decided to come back on Halloween night maybe and have a couple drinks with them.
Okay.
Every year to kind of celebrate they all survived, and maybe they formed a bond over that.
Sure.
Now,
okay.
The movie does not explain that, but
right. Okay, that's fine. I'll buy that. But she doesn't do anything in this movie. She's a dummy. She sucks at everything and then gets killed brutally for it. That's it. Like, there's no, like, at least in H2O, and I'm gonna go back to H2O again because I like H2O.
She does die in multiple timelines now.
She does, which is pretty rad. She's joined Jamie Lee in that. Anyway, in H2O, she gets killed off in the opening sequence. In a killer sequence, no pun intended, and she kind of fights back and kicks some ass and is kind of sweet before she goes out, at least.
Right.
And then she just dies. I don't know. If you're going to bring her back again after her character has been killed, yes, in another timeline, I recognize that. But if her character's already had like a send-off on screen, you're going to bring her like to do something with her, I guess. I'm not sure what you do with her, but like, I don't know.
Can I pitch another Halloween streaming show?
Sure.
Maybe a Loki-esque, like all the variants.
110%.
Come together.
No. Which Michael Myers would win? So we've got
this one. I'm going to put this out there.
This one, Thorn one, or Zombie one.
So so the thing with the zombie one, he's a brute, but he is not even close to as smart as this one. This one, that's the thing, is this one is cunning. Mm-hmm. This one is clever. This one is funny.
He can take a beating too.
He's got a plan. The Myers one, I'm going to be honest, he's mostly just a brute.
Yeah.
Or not the Myers one, the zombie one. Yeah.
What about Cult of Thorn one?
Oh, I guess but this one's pretty supernatural too. This one takes a beating too. Like, that's the thing you got to worry about with the Cult of Thorn one.
Where are we going with that, Tim?
Can
I be honest with you? Like, I'm not trying. I really like this. It's the movie's a lot of fun.
Where are we going with the supernatural stuff?
What are we doing?
Let's save that for Michael.
Okay,
Put a pin in it until Michael. Because real quick, we'll move on to the last of the 78 crew. I like the callback with the window break, and I'm not gonna lie, sure. I fist pumped when she said, "This is for Dr. Loomis."
That shit was so stupid too.
Oh no, it rocked.
That shit was so stupid.
All right, let's talk about.
She didn't care about Dr. Loomis. She met the guy one time.
Yeah, well, she didn't want to. Well, I guess he didn't die.
He's like, I got old. Like
that's right.
She's not getting revenge. He maybe had a heart attack. I don't know.
So let's talk about Dr. Loomis real quick.
Just felt like, to me, that felt like a fanfic that you'd read online in like the early 2000s. Yeah. But it made it to a finished Halloween film, and that's insane to me.
Something can be stupid and also rock. So
Yeah,
my point does not change.
I do agree with you, but that was for me. That was not.
So Luba is played by Tom Jones Jr., who was a set constructor. I wanted to just mention him real quick because we've seen a lot of this in Marvel movies, and I am on the record for thinking when they do it in Marvel, the de-aging is creepy as hell. Now, what they did in this is they did it all practical. They did it all makeup.
It's fucking
makeup and lighting.
It's insane.
Yeah, I don't think the voice is great.
No, it's not.
But he does have a classic like crazy ass Loomis line where he goes, "Stand back, the evil is here."
Yeah.
Which is one of those classic like, what the hell is crazy ass Loomis?
Get out of here, you goof.
Because I think something like some people forget about when we like watch movies like this and then we measure them up to the classic. Like sometimes Carpenter is writing some crazy shit dialogue for like Loomis. Loomis is out there saying some wild stuff.
Oh yeah, if I was Brackett, I'd lock his ass up.
So it does capture that. But what did you think of the flashback stuff with Loomis?
Insane, dude.
I think the practical stuff, honestly, with a different actor is less creepy. When you're de-aging and bringing back like a dead actor, like that stuff is.
And to be fair, we only get like
Star Wars
brief glimpses of Loomis in this. I mean, it's really, it doesn't linger. Was one shot that kind of lingers on his face, but man, was it was like.
I loved it.
I was like watching I thought I was watching a deleted. Like I knew I wasn't, but. I was watching like a deleted scene from 70. Like it was insane to me.
Because even when they de-age people, there's always that disconnect in my brain where I go,
it's the uncanny valley. You can't. There's no.
This isn't real.
Even the best de-aging stuff, like some like Michael Douglas, isn't like the de-aging on him and some of the Marvel stuff has been like wow. It's like Michael Douglas stepped out of the set of Basic Instinct, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Ooh. That's an Ant-Man movie I would like to see.
Indeed. But it doesn't matter. You still go, it's off. There's something off. I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. This looked crazy good, and I love to see Loomis. I love Loomis. I love Donald Pleasance. I'm happy he's not like a character in this movie. It's a good thing because it'd feel weird. But like, I do love that we get just a little bit of Loomis in this. It's cool.
And the thing is, like, Donald Pleasance. I mean. You can make the argument that maybe it's a little because he's the only one that has played, but I guess Malcolm McDowell has now too. But like this version of Lewis, you could make an argument, I guess, that it might be like maybe he should have the legacy of playing this. But like Donald Pleasance, like, hey, it was a paycheck. They played him in like 6 movies.
Yeah,
I don't want to speak for him, but I think by part 6 he was like, they keep paying me.
yeah, you don't care.